Good afternoon, tea-drinking pussies of Britain and the rest of the world who may be watching. Let's talk about knives, knife crime, and in particular, ninja swords. Why has Keir Starmer decided to make a statement saying that he is a great politician and a trustworthy Prime Minister because he's banned the ninja swords in Britain? And why do I think this is just ridiculous propaganda? So let's start with a bit of a definition on what is a ninja sword. A ninja sword, ninja is a slang word. It's not, there is no such thing as a ninja sword. Like, ninjas didn't have particular specific weapons in that way. What a ninja is a shinobi no mono. Shinobi no mono means thief or ruffian from the rooftops. You know, a failed samurai, a ruffian or a thief who sneaks about in the back and who uses the weapon of a samurai. So a samurai sword is about so long with a slight bend in the middle, or you'll use a katana. And there's a smaller version called a wakizashi, which is like about this big. All of these things are completely illegal and have been for hundreds of years. The actual law in Britain is any bladed article like this, that's 3.4 inches of a blade. This is the longest blade you're allowed to own outside of your kitchen. And even that, if I carry this outside, this will be taken off me by police, even if I haven't done anything. So I'm really, even though lawfully there's no criminal penalty for me to carry this, it will be confiscated if I am walking around with it and the police decide they're going to search me. I'll probably also be given a caution and a public order offence as well. It's just the way things work around here. So why is it so stupid for Starmer to say he is so great for banning the ninja sword, which is not even a real sword? Considering they're already banned. Well, it's because people who are going to go out stabbing people, guess what? They don't care what the law is. They're already going to stab you. So what's the betting? They're going to go, oh, damn it, I was going to go and stab Daily Corvid, but I can't now because ninja swords are illegal. So I just have to not bother. 0% chance. If someone is going to stab you, they're just going to conceal carry whatever weapon they have. Whether it's a ninja sword or a machete, a bamboo knife, whether it is a hunting knife, something like this, they're all illegal. But the penalty for carrying an illegal blade is much lower than the penalty for being caught stabbing someone. So what the criminal will do is make sure there is no witnesses and no evidence, and then they can carry whatever they like, which is generally how knife crime in this country works. So what I want to do is focus on knife combat defense tactics for a regular everyday Joe or Joanne. So what you'll find is people who are going to stab you, they're not very selective. They want anything pointy, but they're going to have something longer than this. This is basically a gardening knife, even though it's got a fancy blade on it. When I'm out litter picking, the only reason I carry something like this is so that I can untwig pieces of rubbish that get caught in bushes and trees. So I am carrying this for a good purpose while I'm out doing community services for free because I'm a volunteer. But if the police catch up with me and they are to search me, they will take this off me and send it back to me in the post, despite the fact that I've got no intention of stabbing anyone. And in fact, many times I have been attacked when I've been carrying this and it hasn't even crossed my mind to pull it out. You can defend yourself as long as someone is attacking you with a blunt object or just their bare hand. You are better able to defend yourself without one of these. This is not a defensive weapon. How do you defend yourself with this? You poke people with it, so then your defence is now an attack. You are more likely to injure them, and there will be a criminal penalty for you having done that, despite that you're doing it in self-defence. The law on self-defence is if you are aggressively attacking someone, i.e. swiping or poking, then you are attacking them. Even though they had the motive against you, you ended up injuring them, you will get punished. So this is not a good defensive weapon. Sorry, I got an itchy nose. So what you're more likely to face is something like this. Now, it must be said, in most countries, and Britain included, if someone really wants to stab you, they're going to get a blade that's got two edges, because this isn't going to be able to hurt you. Only this side can hurt you. And when you're swinging a blade on this way, you know, your initial swipe, you're going to have them facing the blade. If you then swipe back this way, it's virtually impossible to hurt someone that way. So it's going to be a stabbing motion they use, in which case anything is going to work. It doesn't even need to be a knife. Any sharp piece of metal will work, which there's plenty of things, I'm not going to name them here, but there's plenty of things which you can stab someone with which aren't illegal because they're not blades. So what you're going to find is anyone who's got the slightest idea about knife combat is they're going to hold it with their thumb across the blunt edge like this to give themselves more stability in the swipe. They're going to swipe this way, then they're going to come over the top and swipe that way. So they're going to do this, right? And the point is, there's no defense for this. There just isn't. If you turn your back and run away, they're going to extend their arm to stab you, and you don't have any bones on your back. Your back is very vulnerable to this kind of thing, right? So at least on the front, if you get stabbed in the ribs or somewhere else, yes, you're still going to get stabbed, but because of your bone structure in your ribs, there's going to be less chance of the knife actually being able to rip through you. You know, it's going to get caught between your ribs and then come out, so it's just going to be a stab. Whereas if it's in the back and you get stabbed, they will drag it down, and then you're basically dead. You'll bleed to death from that. Now, you probably, after a while, still bleed to death from a normal stab wound, but not. It will take 15-20 minutes for you to really start losing enough blood to go unconscious and to die. So within that time, you'd hope you'd called an ambulance, or you'd got yourself a, something to pressure the wound, and then you won't die from it. But if you're stabbed in the back with a rip or a tearing motion, then you're basically done for. And that's what you're going to find with people who stab you in the street, people who attack with knife crimes. They want to get behind you, and they want to stab, and they want to pull the blade so that it rips. So how do you defend yourself from someone who wants to attack you with a knife? Unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do really, unless you are, prepared for this. And even then, the only things you can really do is cover up the arteries in your neck. That's the one they're mainly going to go for, since it is Islamic terrorists that are doing this, mostly. Cover up your neck, because your arteries are here. And this is another place where you've got an artery. If you get a swipe across there, it very quickly might bleed to death. So you do this to cover up both of them. And try not to lean back. Try to lean down so that the blades hit your shoulders or the top of your head. Even though it's still nasty, it isn't going to kill you unless they literally stab you in the top of the head. There's nothing you can do about that. So realistically, even though Starmer's stupid ninja sword law thing's getting all the media attention, it doesn't make any difference. The only thing this law change is going to do is put further restrictions on law-abiding people who actually care about following these things. Because like we went through, anyone who's willing to go out and stab someone with a knife or any bladed article, they're already discarding the fact that they're going to attempt to murder someone. That's a far more serious crime than just carrying a blade. So if you're a person who applies the law and actually follows the law, now you can't own a sword in your own home. Because if you use it to defend yourself, you will fall foul of this new law. It's a law that limits reasonable law-abiding people's defence more than it does criminals wanting to kill you. So I think the thing to keep in mind is, with how bad knife crime is in this country, is keep distance from potential sources of knife crime, no cultures or religions specifically named. It's probably not going to be a ninja. How many ninjas are there in Britain who go around killing people? There's virtually zero. Whereas people who use machetes and cane knives, the choice weapon of the street jihadi, there are quite a few of these guys. So keep your eye out for them. You can spot them from a distance because they wear dresses that look obvious. Oh, Islamophobia! No, it's just trying not to get stabbed, actually. So I'm not saying all Muslims are going to do this, but it's like saying all snakes aren't going to bite you, but if you see one, you still avoid it. So that's what we got to keep in mind. If you see these guys, whether they're a threat to you or not, they might be carrying a knife. And if you are one of their particular targets, i.e. a non-Muslim, specifically a white person, maintain distance from them. If you have to walk past them in the street, try and move out the way, or try and put something between you, like walk the other side of a lamppost, or even other people. You can move out the way so there's other people in between. And if they start tracking towards you, this is a signal that they are possibly going to target you. And also, they'll try and get behind you. So keep an eye out. If you need to, cross the street and look over your shoulder. You can always tell if someone's positioning to follow you. And just keep your wits about you. And hopefully what we'll see in future is a real law change which actually does limit like knife crime and help people such as us defend ourselves from jihadi terrorism. So I could suggest a few things, but I won't because this video is getting long. So that's all I've got to say for today. Just be very careful about knife crime, even though ninja swords are getting all the attention in the media. Like I say, anything longer than this was already banned. You're not allowed to carry it, and you need ID to actually buy even kitchen knives. Anything out in the street that you see, is likely to be used by someone who is not following the law. So it is not going to make any dent on that. It's not going to make any difference to that. And you need to have your wits about you and just be observant. Keep an eye on the position people are taking. If they're looking at you and they're within arm's reach, get out of arm's reach, because that's the thing. This doesn't really extend your reach all that much, and you have a little bit of time while they're going for you to move away. So it's obviously going to be very tempting for you to run away, but if they're within arm's reach, they will still catch you because they've got that enhanced reach. So don't turn your back on someone if they are attacking you with a knife until you've got you've got relatively good distance, and then you've got somewhere that you can run to. And the other thing is, if they are taller than you or quicker than you, turning your back is a bad idea, because they're going to catch up with you, stab you in the back, and a back stab is more damaging than a stab in the front because you don't have those bones, you can't defend yourself. So it's all about situational awareness. If you're someone like me who regularly gets targeted by Islam jihadis, then you need to be aware of this, and you'll probably, which is what I do, wear something underneath your clothes which limits the effectiveness of blades. Or at the very least, carry a bag with something in it that is going to be tough to cut through. And then you can put the bag in front of you and kind of use it as like a knife shield. But even then, it's still going to be very difficult for you. So just keep in mind, the best thing you can do is stay away, keep a distance from these guys, avoid them where you see them, mark people out with your eyes. So keep an eye on the crowd. If you're in London or there's like a large crowd, mark out potential sources of attack and avoid them. And make sure, if you do get into a confrontation, make as much noise as you can. Try to draw a crowd, because on the off chance that you get away, you can still report it as an attempt. And on the more likely thing is that you do end up getting stabbed or at least nicked and injured, there will be witnesses so you can press charges. And that's my main point. These dirty bastards only get away with this because they engineer a scenario where there is no evidence and they can just give a denial, and they know the law is not particularly strong in this area. The courts are looking to not put people in prison, even for knife crime, because the prison space is limited, and it is racist if you put someone in prison who is a Muslim. I'm sorry, that's how it works out. So that means you have to have lots of witnesses, lots of evidence, and you have to have the will to press charges, because they will tell you, like they did with me, that you shouldn't press charges and you should actually move away. But if we keep running away from our problems and not facing them, certainly if we don't press charges, this will only get worse, and the jihadis will feel even further emboldened to invade our rights and threaten our safety, and that's just not good enough. So, point number 1, watch the crowd, observe, be aware of things. Point number 2, discern possible sources of violence, discern and mark out your targets, keep distance from them, longer than arm's reach, their arm, not yours. Don't turn your back if they're right up close to you, because you'll just get one in the back and it'll be worse for you. Back away, use your arms to cover up your arteries and try and dip your head, because this is the bit they're going to be targeting. Smiting the neck is how the Quran describes how they should deal with you. Make sure you make as much noise as possible so that you draw a crowd, so there's witnesses. And the final point, point 4, is always press charges. Even if you think that they'll get away with it or they'll get a reduced sentence, the process is painful enough, and the media attention this will draw hopefully will rise ahead of pressure on the government, and they will do something practical about knife crime rather than banning ninjas. Anyway, so that's the end of this video. I hope you learned something, you enjoyed that. God bless you all, and I'll see you lovely people in the next one. Bye now. So be on the lookout for those ninjas who might be trying to stab you, or anyone else of the jihadi persuasion, and you should be absolutely fine. So that's all for now. God bless you all. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. Bye now. Bye.